All right, the Padres down 6-0. They end up winning this game. Obviously, last year they were down 6-0 against the Cubs at home. They win that game and they go on and win 93 games. And I know it was a disappointing ending to that season, but regular season, winning over 90 games, getting to the playoffs, testing that Dodger team. Like, we'll see what this year holds after coming back from 6-0. I know that the Cubs were not great last year when the Padres did that. The Marlins certainly are not a great team, but to come back from that deficit, and you had Kolek on the mound, and that first inning, I was sort of watching it because I was working, but sort of watching it, and I'm like, this is not good. But really going back and seeing the plays and the run scoring plays from the Marlins, I'm like, well, was it really on Stephen Kolek? It wasn't like super on Stephen Kolek, like, oh my gosh, he was so terrible. Balls found holes. There was a grounder hit to shortstop and found a hole, just, based on where the infield was playing. Balls that just get through the infield. Who was it? It was Kyle Stowers, I think. He hit that ball hard, but a lot of them were like not hit that hard, and they just found a hole. Fielder's choice. There was, I think, a sac fly in there. Yeah, sac fly to make it 6-0 there in that first. But when you're playing a bad team and you didn't have an at bat yet, we know that there's talent in this lineup. There's a chance. If you were giving up on the Padres there, saying that they had no shot after they hadn't even had an at bat yet, then hopefully you're not going to give up on them the rest of the season. Nando with that homer, there's been a lot of talk about his body language and all that. To me, like, do I want you to have good body language? Like, I guess I'd rather have that. But at the same time, if this makes sense, when you're struggling, if you're just going to be dancing and having a great time, then that probably to me is like, you probably don't care enough. Like, if he's down and doesn't have the best body language, it's because he cares and he's pissed off and he's sad that he's not playing well. So hopefully, this can be a good start. And it was Oppo Homer. A lot of guys contributing here tonight in this win. Tyler Wade bringing in a run. Really tough game for Ronnie Simon or Simone or however you pronounce his name. Apologies to him, but I forget how to pronounce his name. He initially had 4 errors in the game. I think 4 errors was 4 errors in one inning. 4 errors in a game. They took him out obviously. It ended up being 3 errors because they changed it. But yeah, that's rough. I saw him crying coming off of a mound visit. And the Marlins, they're in a different spot. I thought Jesse and Tony, or not Jesse and Tony, sorry. Jesse was on TV. Scan and Tony. I thought they nailed it on the radio when they were talking about the Marlins being in a different situation than the Padres are in. The Padres, they're trying to win, and like, you don't have this room to like develop while you're in the big leagues, if that makes sense, as much as the Marlins do, obviously, and trying to, learn on the fly. You got to win baseball games. The Marlins, they're obviously in a different spot, totally like opposite spot than what the Padres are at. And so you're going to see some of these players that we never heard of, and these are like learning experiences for them, and it's going to be tough for them. Now the Padres, they're doing a good job this year of taking advantage when they're playing these types of teams, like the Rockies, like the Marlins. So that's been good to see, obviously, as a Padres fan. Um, the Bogarts RBI single, I mean, I'm glad that was called a single. I don't think that should be an error on that guy. Like, it's tough. Merrill got in front of him. It's tough. That one made it 6-4. Crony sack fly 6-5. Arise, what a game that he had, huh? Ties it up with that ball down, Oppo down the left field line, and then hits one right back where it came from, which is like, the whole Little League thing, right? Like, you want to take it right back where it came from. And that's what Arise literally did there to make it 6-6 in the bottom of the fourth. So they go down from it comes from 6-0 to 6-6, and they haven't even gotten to the fifth inning yet. So obviously it took a lot of time to get through those innings. A lot of runners in scoring position chances. 4 for 12, the Marlins. 4 for 17, the Padres. Left 11 guys on base tonight. But hey, got the win. Merrill with that insurance homer makes it 8-6. That one, the bat flip, the reactions from the crowd, uh, that was cool. I put up a screenshot on Twitter of some of the reactions. The reaction from the pitcher, like knowing that, oh, I just gave up a freaking bomb. Merrill knowing that he can just look at that for a little bit, and then the fans, like how excited they got behind the plate. That was cool. Um, I did see Woodsy was there behind the plate. Patrick Daly, who has been on the show as well. Both of them actually. They were behind the plate there. Eric Weddle, I saw him in the second row. I don't know if they talked about that on the broadcast because I wasn't watching the entire broadcast, but I did see him and posted on social media. I think I got an Eric Weddle signing. He was my favorite Charger when the Chargers were in San Diego. And no, I don't root for the Chargers now. I barely watch any football now. That's just the way it is. But yeah, like that was a cool night. Over 40,000. I think it was that military hoodie giveaway. That does look pretty sweet, I must say. I do have a couple of those, not the military, but past ones that they've done. But shout out to this bullpen too. Sean Reynolds, Yuki Matsui, and Jeremiah Estrada. Estrada going 4 out. Same thing with Reynolds. And this was a night that Adam was not going to pitch. Suarez wasn't going to pitch. I thought maybe they'd go with one of them. Maybe you go 3 days in a row because you do have a day off on Thursday. So maybe you give day off Wednesday, Thursday, ready to go Friday against the Pirates. But they weren't going to do that. They go with Estrada, and he was pumped after getting that save. So love seeing that emotion from him. Um, and yeah, I mean, Yuki, I think we got to note this 2.42 ERA this year. I don't think he's going to be talked about a ton. Obviously you have Suarez, there's Adam, there's Estrada, there's Morhone, there's other guys that you're going to talk about in that bullpen. But this year, you go look at his game logs, he's been pretty darn solid for this Padres team. Let's see, 3 games, no, 4. 4 appearances, he's given up runs. 4 appearances, and that is, let's see, 20 appearances in total, I think. No, 22, I think. 22 appearances in total. So that's pretty good. 26 strikeouts and 22 and a third innings. So more strikeouts than innings pitched. Gotta love that. And I would think we'll get to see David Morgan again tomorrow. Could see Adam and Suarez for sure. So taking care of business against bad teams, like being down 6-0, totally could have lost this game, and that would have sucked. But to talk about grinding. Mike Schultz probably going to use that word like 20 times in his post game tonight. I wonder how long he's going to be talking about Stephen Kolek because he loves, the positive praise of his guys, obviously. And I'd rather have that than, the Bob Melvin press conferences. Um, I love Schulte. Sometimes I make fun of stuff, but it's out of love. It really is. Uh, but he's going to talk about Kolek for a while, and deservedly so. Like, I love the ovation that Kolek got after this game, where or not after the game, after he exited, because, rough, 6 innings allowed. He got the win, and he gave up 6 runs. Like, how often in just baseball history does someone get the win? I think for a couple things. Does an offense score more than 6 runs? Does the offense have a 7-6 lead, when Kolek is in line for the win? And does he stay in for 5 innings after giving up 6 runs in the first? Like, how many times does that happen? So really just grinding through it. He gave up 1 hit after that first inning. So really got to give him props there. And that's what it's about, right? Sometimes that BABIP luck is not going to go your way, but you got to keep going, keep trying to make pitches. And that's what he did. And, with Darvish and the King question marks, Waldron starting to work his way back, but there's question marks here. Kolek is going to keep getting these opportunities. And so he's going to be relied upon, obviously, in this rotation to keep making starts and keep having starts where he can, keep the Padres in the game. And that's what he did tonight, against a bad team. Usually when you give up 6 runs, you didn't keep your team in the game. But with the offense the Padres have, he did keep his team in the game, didn't give up any runs after that first inning and, pretty superb. I think 1 walk after that first inning. Again, 1 hit. Got some double plays, at least one pretty key double play. So that's what it's about. Team effort, absolute team effort. The bullpen, Colette grinding through it, different guys, Crony, Toddy, Merrill, Wade. I'm probably forgetting guys, but yeah, Bogey. Um, just a nice team win. And I know the Marlins stink, and some fans may want to be negative. Oh, they got down 6-0 against the Marlins, but yesterday I was more negative. Today I'm more positive. I think it's easier to be positive, to be quite honest, um, after this win.